In the history of American power, no foreign enemy ever set foot in the Oval Office, until one did. He didn't wear a turban. He wore a suit. He didn't carry bombs. He carried rhetoric. Barack Hussein Obama, sold to America as the post-racial messiah, but groomed by forces with a very different mission: to soften the West, to kneel before Islam, to hollow out the last superpower from within. Obama's story didn't begin in Chicago. It began in Jakarta. Barack Obama was born in Honolulu in 1961, but from age 6 to 10, he was raised in Jakarta, Indonesia, after his mother married an Indonesian Muslim, Lolo Sotoro. There, he attended local schools under the name Barry Sotoro, studied Islam, and absorbed a worldview far removed from traditional American values, a formative experience that would later shape his globalist ideology and sympathetic stance toward the Muslim world. Then he appeared in college in California. They say Barack Obama transferred to Columbia University in 1981. Political science major, international relations focus. Graduated in 1983, but no one remembers him. No classmates, no professors, no clubs, no student groups, no published writings, not even a roommate. His transcript sealed. Application sealed. Every record, every paper, every grade, vanished or protected. For the future leader of the free world, there's a vacuum. Some say Saudi-linked donors helped place him. Others say intelligence handlers kept him off the radar. One thing is certain: the silence is intentional. Barack Obama's path into Harvard wasn't just merit and magic. His ideological father figure, Frank Marshall Davis, a communist, race war theorist, and FBI target. Declassified files named Davis a potential Soviet agent. Obama never mentioned his name in his book, Dreams from My Father. But the fingerprints are there. Then came Jeremiah Wright, Bill Ayers, and Harvard, where victimhood became power. Obama's worldview was never liberal. It was reversalist. Good became evil. Freedom became oppression. Islam became the victim. America wasn't something to lead. It was something to unmake. When Obama appeared in politics, he also seemed to emerge from nowhere like in his college years. A little-known junior senator with no real accomplishments, yet suddenly vaulted to global stardom. His rise was rapid, orchestrated, and curiously unchallenged, as if someone needed him exactly where he ended up. Let's look at his inner circle. Several figures close to Obama had documented associations with Islamist organizations or regimes and paved his way, starting with the Egypt regime overthrow. In June 2009, Obama went to Cairo and demanded the Muslim Brotherhood be seated front row. Critics point to multiple MB-affiliated individuals in or advising the Obama administration that had a deep take and input on the Egypt policy. An Egyptian magazine's investigation, later reported by the Investigative Project on Terrorism, claimed 6 American Islamists in Obama's orbit were Brotherhood operatives, helping shift U.S. policy from hostility to support for MB. Among those named were Arif Ali Khan, co-founder of an Islamic group called a Brotherhood subsidiary; Mohammed Alibiari, who praised MB ideologue Sayyid Qutb and allegedly leaked sensitive documents. Alibiari was said to have helped shape Obama's 2011 speech urging Egypt's Hosni Mubarak to step down. Rashad Hussain, who had maintained close ties with U.S. Muslim Brotherhood networks. Salam al-Marayati, the president of MPAC. Imam Mohammed Magid, president of ESNA, an MB-founded group. Ibu Patel reported to have connections with MB-founded Muslim Student Association and Islamist ideologues. These individuals enjoyed access to high levels of government, visiting the White House regularly and advising on policy. While the administration rejected the notion that they were operatives, the preponderance of MB-linked figures in advisory roles was unprecedented and in line with MB's stated goal of influencing U.S. institutions. Obama's Cairo speech glorified Islam and subtly legitimized its most dangerous revivalist group, the Muslim Brotherhood, the same movement that birthed Hamas, Al-Qaeda, and ISIS. 2 years later, the Arab Spring happened. Obama endorsed Mohammed Morsi, a fanatic Muslim Brotherhood leader who called Jews apes and pigs, and wants to destroy Israel and has deep ties to Iran, and Obama called him a democratically elected partner. Then he sent Morsi $1.3 billion and 20 F-16S fighter jets. Obama was following a blueprint invented by Jimmy Carter in the 1970s. Obama did to Egypt what Carter did to Iran, removing a secular strongman and ushering in the Ayatollah. In this case, Mubarak was the Shah, and Morsi was Khomeini. The Brotherhood was his Islamic Revolution 2.0 under U.S. endorsement. What the American people didn't know was that the Brotherhood had a written plan that was seized in Virginia in 1991. The plan said, the Ikhwan must understand their work in America as a kind of grand jihad in eliminating and destroying Western civilization from within. That document was used in the Holy Land Foundation terror trial, but Obama threw it under the rug and brought CAIR and ISNA into DHS meetings and White House iftars. But the Egypt Sunni Brotherhood overthrow was only half the plan. The other half? Iran. In 2009, Iranian citizens rose up, holding signs, "Obama, are you with us or them?" But Obama chose the mullahs. Valerie Jarrett, an Iranian-born American with deep ties to the Islamic Republic, acted as an advisor shaping Obama's foreign policy from the shadows. In 2012-2013, she reportedly led secret negotiations with Tehran that laid the groundwork for the Iran nuclear deal. Israeli intelligence identified her as the Chicago lawyer born in Iran, directing a covert U.S. team offering major concessions. Though denied by the White House, her role raised serious concerns about her ties with the Ayatollah. Domestically, she cultivated ties with Islamist-linked groups like ISNA and other Muslim Brotherhood-connected groups. The result? JCPOA, $150 billion in assets, $1.7 billion in cash, and Iran's reawakening as an active destructive force in the Middle East. Simultaneously, Project Cassandra, the DEA's crackdown on Hezbollah's drug empire, was shut down. According to detailed investigations, including Politico's 2017 expose on Project Cassandra, the Obama administration chose the Iran nuclear deal over dismantling Iran's global drug and terror network. While Iranian proxies trafficked cocaine and arms, Obama's DOJ tied the DEA's hands, allowing Hezbollah to flourish by turning a blind eye. Inside America, the immune system was being dismantled. In 2011, Obama purged 800-plus FBI counterterrorism documents, words like jihad and Islamic radicalism deleted and rewritten by CAIR. Terror-linked groups became policy advisors. Philip Haney, the DHS whistleblower, warned that terror networks were being ignored. His database could have prevented San Bernardino. Instead, it was deleted and Haney's unit disbanded. For example, Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, officials visited at least 20 times from 2009 onward, even though the FBI had cut off formal ties with CAIR due to evidence of its Hamas links in the Holy Land Foundation trial. Other invitees included leaders from ISNA and the Muslim American Society organizations founded by Brotherhood members, as well as activists who openly defended Hezbollah or Hamas. This open-door policy legitimized Islamist groups and gave them influence over community outreach, counter-radicalization, and civil rights policy. Haney testified, "They erased dots we could have connected." But then the world tried to fix itself. The Egyptians toppled Morsi. Israelis exposed Iran's nuclear lies. And the American people? They elected Trump. The Iran deal was torn up. Soleimani was killed. The IRGC was labeled a terror organization. As Ben Rhodes, Obama's media handler, admitted, "They literally know nothing. We created an echo chamber." The Muslim Brotherhood didn't really need to infiltrate the White House. They were already in the family photo. Let's not forget Malik Obama, Barack's half-brother. Kenyan-born, American citizen, Muslim by faith, and a Muslim Brotherhood leader who praises Hamas and brags about destroying Zionists. But hey, he is family, so his foundation got IRS approval in 30 days from submission date. And Barack Hussein Obama openly said at the UN, "The future must not belong to those who slander the Prophet of Islam." Here was the first true radical Muslim United States president. Obama was a fusion weapon, the new messiah of the DEI. Questioning him was a crime, because DEI was the new religion, and he was first black president. And during the Biden years, OFA became a data army, and the Iran deal came back. Because he was still running the show. Back to 2011, Obama's Executive Order 13583 embedded DEI across federal agencies, replacing merit with identity quotas. National security standards collapsed as Islamic extremism was scrubbed from training, and Brotherhood-linked groups like CARE gained access. DEI became a shield for subversive actors, silencing dissent and prioritizing ideology over competence. It hollowed out America's defenses while Islamist proxies walked in through the front door, exactly as planned. The woke media didn't just lie, they protected the operation. Obama wasn't merely a politician, he believed he was chosen. When he declared in June 2008, this was the moment the oceans began to recede. He wasn't joking. He saw himself as a messianic figure. But he wasn't here to lead America, he was here to humble it. A servant not of the Constitution but of a higher ideological calling. The prophet's proxy, cloaked in charisma. He dismantled meritocracy with DEI, neutered law enforcement with racial shame, and elevated Islamist proxies via diplomacy and denial. He scrubbed Islamic extremism from the language of national defense, while Brotherhood-linked groups entered through the front door, but he overplayed the hand. The American people felt the shift. Benghazi, the Iran deal, the rise of ISIS, they shattered the illusion. His post-racial myth collapsed under Ferguson and BLM. His foreign policy left Iran emboldened, Europe destabilized, and America's enemies laughing. He tried to extend his vision through Biden, but it only accelerated the backlash called Trump. Trump wasn't a glitch. He was the antibody to Obama's ideological virus. Obama thought he could be America's messiah, but America doesn't do messiahs for long, and now the shadow he left behind is being dragged into the light. But his remnants remain. The Brotherhood still walks Washington. Obama may have left the Oval Office, but Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, AOC still do. These aren't outliers. They're his minions, shaped by the system he legitimized. Identity over unity, grievance over gratitude, globalism over sovereignty. His grand vision of an Islamic-tinged global reset failed on the world stage, but still exists in schools, media, HR departments, as the federal bureaucracy absorbed the virus. Now anti-Israel hatred is called justice, patriotism is colonialism, and the Constitution is treated like a relic. The squad is no longer fringe. They shape foreign policy and use race and gender as weapons to silence dissent. They are Obama's legacy in hijabs and hashtags, walking the same halls he once did, but with fewer masks. He didn't need a third term. He cloned himself in proxies, each bolder, louder, and more hostile to the West. And Barack Hussein Obama? He still scripts from the shadows like the Trojan horse he is through his minions. And his minions are only a distraction, so people will be kept busy with them and not notice Obama is silently in the shadows doing his Muslim master's bidding. Because AOC is too stupid to even know what a Trojan is, Taliba is a self-absorbed cow, and Whoopi Goldberg is only good for laughs at best. As he said out loud, "I've said this before, people would ask me, knowing what you know now, do you wish you had a third term?" And I used to say, you know what? If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or a front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement with my sweats looking through the stuff, and I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony, I would be fine with that, because I found the work fascinating. America didn't elect Barack Obama because they knew him. They elected him because he made them feel good. They fell in love with a mask, not a man. A voice trained in cadence, a smile honed in boardrooms, and a skin-deep myth sold as salvation. Obama handed Iran billions. Trump crushed Soleimani. Obama apologized. Trump declared Jerusalem eternal, but one was cheered and one was hated. Americans traded national pride for polished rhetoric, choosing Obama's emotional appeal and DEI illusions over unfiltered truth and sovereignty. "It's easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled," said Mark Twain. He also said, "When you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect." Obama didn't betray America alone. America betrayed itself for a fantasy with a smile. They chose theater over truth, DEI over duty, and illusion over country. Americans need to fully wake up, because the choice is no longer symbolic. It's now between America first or a first Muslim America. The mask is off. Now look in the mirror and choose.